Welcome to Hoops High, Chicago's leader in youth-produced sports broadcasting and youth media education. Hoops High is produced by high school students learning the skills of professional broadcasting. Hoops High is the flagship program of Free Spirit Media and is made possible in partnership with After School Matters, the Chicago Public Schools, and Chicago Access Network Television. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, I'm Michael Ingram, and I'll be serving as your play-by-play for the evening.
And I'm Ariel Pryor, and I'll be serving as your color commentator for the evening.
We're here at the Golden Dome, located at 100 North Central Park, where we have LPrep taking on the Bulldogs. This should be a very good game, a very good, intriguing game. Both teams have athletic big men, and this should be very interesting. And with that being said, I'm going to toss to a quick PSA.
They do so much for us as players, really support us as players. Least we can do is give back and show them that we care.
I see real important values in growing up in a tight-knit community.
I think that helping is contagious. Once you do it, many more will follow. The doors you open and close today are the stepping stones for you tomorrow.
Basketball is not who I am. Basketball is what I do.
Football is number 11, Manuel Patterson, number 6, Romeo Smith. Usually I don't think both big men to be jumping. Romeo, pretty good athletic. Power forward center. Ball is up. And LPrep takes it. Well, turns ball over. Well, Bulldogs turning the ball over very, very fast. Number 3, Jeremy Williams taking the ball out. He inbounds it to DeAndre Watson. DeAndre gets back to Jeremy. Keith Mack for 3. That's no good. Manuel Patterson gets that block. Ball will go LPrep's way. Number 4, Trayshawn Carr, who we've seen a lot about doing this season, will take the ball out. Jeremy Williams with the ball, kicks it to DeAndre Watson. DeAndre on the drive, twists his body, misses, gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Manuel Patterson. Hook is up, and that's no good. He misses that. Number 11, their big man. Number 2 on the drive, he gets that poked out. Keith Mack with the ball. Keith Mack is going to go for a dunk. DeAndre Watson was in the right place at the right time. And you hear the infamous red chant. LPrep is known for that. Trayshawn Carr with the help defense. Kicks it to the big man down low, number 11. He passes that out. DeAndre Watson, alley-oop to Keith Mack, and he misses. Trayshawn Carr is stripped. Number 7 on the drive. Number 7, ball is stolen by DeAndre. Jeremy Williams with the ball. Jeremy throws it up to Keith Mack. Oh, and Keith Mack lays it in. LPrep is a pretty exciting team. You're seeing a lot of that today. DeAndre Watson with the ball hits the ball out of bounds. Ariel, what do you think about the game so far? What are you liking about it in the game that just started?
I could definitely see that both teams have very athletic players, and they both have size. I think it's pretty neck and neck. Well, the game just started, but I definitely think it's going to be a good game.
LPrep, chanting red. Backcourt foul, carrying. And carrying backcourt, one of those. And a timeout has been taken with 17 minutes and 53 seconds left in the first half. LPrep leading 4-0. And with that being said, I'm going to toss to a quick PSA.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
How do you plan to give back and change the world positively?
Why does your voice matter?
Why does your voice matter? Why does your voice matter?
Time waits for no one.
What would you like your legacy to be?
What would you like your legacy to be?
This Lou in Hoops High.
And we're back with more Hoops High, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, I am Michael Ingram, serving as your play-by-play for the evening.
And I'm Errol Pryor, serving as your color commentator for the evening.
Treshawn Carr, Jeremy Williams with the ball. Jeremy gives it to Keith Mack. Keith Mack for three, and that's no good. Rebound by Romeo Smith, number 3 with the ball now. Number 3 with the hesitation pullback. The ball is thrown dangerously. Keith Mack bats it away. Keith Mack spin. Keith Mack breaking the ball up the court now. Keith Mack, bad shot. Number 3 with the ball. Kicks to number 1. That was a bad pass. Emmanuel Patterson with the ball. Emmanuel with a dunk. Emmanuel Patterson, an incoming freshman, gets his first dunk of the season.
Oh.
First taste. Number 3 to inbound the ball. Gives it to number 1. Keith Mack with another steal. Keith Mack with a layup. Keith Mack, 6'4", very versatile. Keith Mack, very versatile. You see right there on the replay, Emmanuel Patterson, number 11, with a dunk. Treshawn Carr gives it to DeAndre Watson. DeAndre gives it to Treshawn. Treshawn for 3, and that's good.
You are watching Hoops High. Remember, you can watch Hoops High every Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m. on CAN TV, Channel 19, for all of the hottest high school sports action around.
Number 2 with the ball. He's kind of losing it. Romeo for 3, and that's no good. Number 11, the ball is stripped away. DeAndre Watson with the ball. Layup. LPrep is making it look very easy right now. Score is 13-0 with 15 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Romeo Smith with the ball. The ball is patted away. Ariel, what are you liking about LPrep right now as they're leading 13-0?
Everything. They're definitely hustling. They're taking it to the basket a lot, and I like that. They're not giving up on plays, and they think they lost the ball. Or when we think we lost the ball, they don't. They know it's not over.
Man, oh, alley-oop was going up. Number 24 with the ball. He's quickly trapped. Jeremy Williams with the ball. Jeremy with a freelance layup. LPrep leading 15-0 right now, making it look very, very easy. And they missed that one. Tips. And the Bulldogs get on the board with 2 points. Jeremy Williams blocked. Romeo with the ball.
Hoops High is produced by high school students who are learning the skills of professional broadcasting. All of the camera work, announcing, directing, and engineering is done by students.
Jeremy Williams with a layup. Jeremy Williams with a layup. I thought Emmanuel Patterson was going to get it off the backboard. He who did that definitely would have sent the gym up. Jeremy Williams with the ball. Fake. Keith Mack. Oh! Keith Mack was about to ram rocket. You seen it. It slipped out of his hand.
Oh, wow.
Number 2 with the ball now. He's walking up the court. He splits the defense, and he's fouled. Getting ready to sub into the game, number 7, Marquise Jefferson, number 18, Stephon Harris. for number 3, Jeremy Williams, and number 1, DeAndre Watson. Number 2 is stuck. Number 4 with the ball. Kicks it to that big man. He's fouled. And he gets an L1. Number 5 to go to the line for a free throw. Number 5, Dwayne Ward, misses his free throw. Number 6, Romeo with the ball. And the foul is called.
Free Spirit Media strives to give youth a voice so that we can inform and inspire others. Thank you for supporting our work.
The Bulldogs with the rotation. They got Butterfingers today. You see right here on the replay, it's number 5 is fouled by number 11, Manuel Patterson, freshman. Stephon gets it to Marquise. Marquise gets it to Trayshawn. Trayshawn gets it to Keith. Keith gets it to Trayshawn. Manuel with the rebound and a putback. Bulldogs stuck. Couldn't get a hand on it. Trayshawn Carr to the basket, and he gets that to go in. Kick ball violation by Keith Mack. Keith Mack with the ball. Keith Mack with the steal. Trayshawn Carr for the layup. I think before it's all said and done, one of the LPreps players is going to get alley-oop off the glass. What you think about that, Eric?
I definitely agree. They're getting a lot of fast breaks this game.
Definitely.
Bulldogs
with that red defense, subbing to the game, number 1, DeAndre Watson, and number 11, Shaitan Hawkins. Number 7, Marquise Jefferson stops for 3. That's no good. Number 15 on the job. That was a bad layup. Marquise Jefferson kicks it to Keith
And I'm going to toss it to. Now I'm going to toss it to our sideline reporter, Jeanette Tate.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Tate here with Levante. He's just here, spectating. So, how do you think the game is going so far?
I mean, it's a blowout in the making. I expected that. Coming from North Lawndale, that's what they do.
So, with you being a basketball player yourself, and you're here watching these other teams play basketball, what potential do you see coming from them?
I see great potential. I see North Lawndale, they're going to be great going into the season. They have a really good team.
Okay, so out of all the sports, you can play, football, baseball, all that. Why you choose basketball?
Well, that's my favorite sport. That's what everybody in my family plays, So that's why I chose to play.
So do you plan on being an NBA?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I wish you good luck in your future, and thank you so much for the interview. We're going to toss it back to our announcers.
And we're back with more Hoops High, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, I am Michael Ingram, serving as your play-by-play.
And I'm Ariel Pryor, serving as your color commentator for the evening.
We're here at the Golden Dome where we have the LPrep taking on the Bulldogs, and LPrep is taking the commanding lead, 25-4 right now. LPrep came out a 17-0 lead. Number 7 with the ball. He goes to the basket. He travels before he does anything. Marquise Jefferson with the ball. He's walking it up. DeAndre Watson with the ball. Kicks it to Marquise. Marquise for 3, and that's no good. Marquise Jefferson with the ball. He stops. Kicks it to DeAndre Watson. Subs coming into the game right now. The big fella, number 11, Matt, subbing in. DeAndre Watson with the ball, kicks it to Marquise. Marquise quickly trapped, and his ball is stolen. Number 2 with the ball, and he's fouled by number 11, Shaitan. Ari, what do you think the Bulldogs need to do to try to attempt to make a comeback?
Man. Basically, I really don't even know. I think they just have to hustle, just to at least get through the rest of the game.
Number 2, Shaitan with a great one-hand rebound. Kicks it to DeAndre Watson. DeAndre gets it to Marquise. He tries to make a layup falling. That's no good. LPrep gets the tip. I couldn't see which one of the players got it. Too many people was down there. And a foul on number 1, DeAndre Watson. And Darius Wesley checks into the game, number 8, who didn't really play a lot during the season because of injuries. He's out here now. He's getting ready to show everybody what he's capable of, making his LPrep debut. Darius gets a steal and a pull-up. Come into the game with firepower. Darius can't stop cheesing about that. Darius gets another steal. Is he going to dunk? Oh, and he's bridged. He's good, though. He didn't hurt himself. Marquise Jefferson, great ball hawking. Is it going to be a dunk? No, it isn't. But he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. I feel like that's the same thing that just happened to Darius, but no foul was called. LPrep leading 29-5. With 6 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first half. Wow, number 8 airballs a free throw. And he hits the second. Marquise Jefferson with the ball. Gives it to Darius. Darius gives it to Keshawn.
Hoops High is the flagship program of Free Spirit Media and is run in partnership with After School Matters, the Chicago Public Schools, and CAN TV. This is a team effort all around, and we are grateful for our partners who make this possible.
Darius with the great defense. Great defense by LPrep right now. Rotating on defense. Big fella down low, Matt, gets that hook. That goes in. Marquise Jefferson with the ball. Gives it to Kashim. Kashim gets it to Darius. Kashim gets it back. Darius gives it to Marquise. Marquise for 3, and that's no good. Number 7, will he get a layup? Yes, he will. Kashim with the ball. Everybody call him KG. Darius with the ball now. Marquise with the ball. They just gonna hold the ball now. KG gets it. KG on the drive, and that's blocked. Shaitan cleans it up with a rebound. His putback is no good. And a foul is called. Number 7, Marquise Jefferson. Subs coming into the game. Number 11, Manuel Patterson. who had his first dunk. Oh, I'm sorry. He isn't coming in yet.
Keep up with game action and the Hoops High crew with Twitter. Just search Hoops High FSM and follow us.
Subs coming to the game. Number 11, Manuel Patterson for the other number 11. For the other number 11. Shatan. Number 2. Free throw. Manuel Patterson with a rebound. And that's taken. He gets number 2 circuit shot. That's not good. Darius gives it to Jeremy. Jeremy. Jeremy on a drive. Kicks it to Darius. Darius gives it to KG. KG gives it to Stephon. Stephon for 3. Oh, and that's no good. KG carries. Number 1 with the ball. He's ready to inbound it. Number 3 with it. Kicks it back to number 1. Number 1 on the drive. His ball is poked away. He gets it back. That layup is no good. And he's fouled by number 11, Manuel Patterson. Romeo Smith to the line. Ariel, how are you enjoying the game so far?
It's a blowout. Definitely, it's a blowout.
Yeah.
It's a good game, though.
Yeah, LPrep.
LP is playing good.
Yeah, score being 29-10. A minute and 40 left in the first half. That's what I got. Romeo Smith to the line for a second free throw. And that's good. Subs coming in. Wendell Anderson subs in. Wendell, who also plays football. He was a star quarterback for LPrep football team. DeAndre Watson holding the ball, gives it to Darius. Darius gives it to Jeremy.
The score is 29-11 with LP in the lead.
Darius gives it back to Jeremy. Jeremy makes his move and pulls back. Ball will go Bulldogs' way. Number 2 with the ball. Number 7 with a floater, I'm sorry. DeAndre Watson with the ball. Jeremy Williams for 3. That's no good. Romeo Smith with the rebound. Is he going to get it off in time? Yes, but it's not going to go in. LPrep leading 29-13. End of the first half. This has been a very good half so far for LPrep.
Very good.
Hey, dunks, 3 balls, mid-range, steals, hustle, all of that. And with that being said, I'm going to toss to my sideline reporter, Jeanette Tate.
While he's here coaching North Lawndale. So, Coach, how do you think the game is going so far?
I think it's going good. We're using a lot of team concept, motion offense principles, and we're just having fun most of all.
So I see you guys are kind of in a blowout right now, and with this being playoffs. So what do you plan on doing to keep your boys in the lead, in the game?
I just believe in just keeping them motivated. I think that feed off my energy. I'm real energetic, but at the same time, we want to just keep the things that we've been working on all off season to secure the win.
So is there anything in this game that you guys need to work on, defense, offense, anything?
Always defensive. We want to do the small things, boxing out, trying to create a tough atmosphere and environment for our future.
All right, thank you so much, and good luck to you and your team. We're going to toss it to a PSA.
You're rocking with Amari Stoudemire, and you're watching Hoops High. Watch it or watch nothing.
Behind the scenes of Hoops High, it's more than interviews and replays. The crew contributes 110% in setup and production.
While we have fun, we are also very serious about getting the job done.
We have the opportunity to work with big companies such as Nike and to meet current and future NBA stars. We are Hoops High.
Man, this test hard. Let me see your test. Hey.
What?
You got $1? Thank you. Hey, can I get some of your chips?
Man, you beg too much, yeah.
Dang, you could have saved me some more. But hey, let me see the ball.
Hey man, on the real though, you gotta stop begging so much.
Come on, man.
I mean, you gotta be independent and not codependent.
You know what? You right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, I am Michael Ingram, serving as your play-by-play for the evening.
And I'm Errol Pryor, and I'll be serving as your color commentator for the evening.
We're here at the Golden Dome, where we have LPrep taking a commanding lead of 29-13 over the Bulldogs. LPrep coming out of the gates real fast, scoring, taking a commanding 17-0 lead until the Bulldogs took charge. Number 3 with the ball, dribbles. And the ball was poked away. Number 3 with the ball. His ball is poked away.
Oh my goodness.
LPrep playing great defense right now. Number 1 with the ball, kicks it back to Romeo. Romeo with a great post move. Romeo will go to the line for a free throw. Keith Mack picks up a foul. Keith Mack, who was one of LPreps, or if not LPreps, starting player during the school year. Romeo for free throw, and it's good. DeAndre Watson with the ball. Oh, and that's blocked by Romeo Smith. You heard that one in the cheap seats. Keith Mack with the ball. He calls for isolation. Gives it to Emmanuel. Emmanuel down low, layup, and it's good. Emmanuel using this semi-quickness on a tall and slower player. Romeo with the ball. Romeo is fouled by Emmanuel Patterson.
The PSAs, dramas, and documentaries that you see between breaks on Hoops High are produced by Free Spirit Media students at North Lawndale College Preparatory High School, the Gary Comer Youth Center, and the Powerhouse High. We hope that you enjoy the stories and messages that we young people are sharing.
Subs coming into the game. Wendell Anderson coming in for Emmanuel Patterson. Romeo Smith for a second free throw, and that's good. Trayshawn Carr for 3, and that's no good. Keith Mack with it. Keith Mack for the dunk, and it's good.
Woo!
Keith Mack gets a one-hand dunk.
That's nice. That was nice.
Trayshawn Carr with the great defense. Travel is called.
The score is 33-18. North Lawndale Prep is in the lead right this moment.
Number 1 with the ball. Jeremy Williams comes up with a steal. Kicks to Trayshawn. Trayshawn kicks to DeAndre Watson. DeAndre kicks it to Keith Mack. And Keith was trying to get him a dunk. Keith Mack. Keith Mack goes up for his first free throw, and that's good.
Please check out the Free Spirit Media website at freespiritmedia.org to learn what Free Spirit Media is all about, or check us out on YouTube. Search Free Spirit Media to view our YouTube channel.
Number 7 with the ball. It's picked away. He gets it back. He's on a drive. He travels, but he did. But Keith Mack gets the rebound. Trayshawn Carr with the ball. Trayshawn on the drive. And was he fouled? Count the basket. It was a goal 10. Number 1 with the ball. He's inbound. Giggs is number 3. Number 3, dangerous cross-court pass. Backcourt valet, travel violation. Sub coming to the game, number 2 for number 3. Number 3, Jeremy Williams with the ball. And Williams kicks it to Keith Mack. Romeo Smith with the ball. And he's stripped. Foul on number 4, Trayshawn Carr. Romeo Smith will go to the line once again. LPrep, who didn't really foul like that in the first half, is coming out fouling in the second half. Even though they're winning.
The score is 37-18 with North Lawndale in the prep. North Lawndale Prep in the lead.
Yes. Even though they're winning 37-18, they still shouldn't foul. Make it much easier on themselves.
Yep, just need to take it easy the rest of the game.
Number 1, DeAndre Watson with the ball. Pick back Keith Mack. Keith Mack called for a oop, he didn't get it. Wendell Anderson for 3, and it's good. Wendell, sophomore quarterback for North Lawndale, and shooting guard small for it. The ball is stolen by Keith Mack. Keith Mack gives it to DeAndre Watson. DeAndre Watson with the crossover pullback. Wendell Anderson on the pick. Jeremy Williams from mid-range, and that's no good.
Oh, my.
Trayshawn Carr with the great defense. Ariel, what do you think is going through the Bulldogs head coach head right now as he sits on the bench?
I don't think we're allowed to say some of the things that are going through his head. I don't. He looks pretty angry right now. I feel like he just doesn't know what to say.
Number 1 to inbound the ball. This he gives it back. Splits the defense. Number 3 kicks to Romeo. Romeo tried to get him a dunk. It didn't work out. Keith Mack on the rebound, on layup. And it's good.
Don't forget to stay tuned for the Free Spirit Media News at the end of this broadcast. It comes on at 9:50 every Saturday. Learn about what's going on in Chicago and find out the latest on the most important issues with teams.
And with that being said, I'm going to toss to a quick PSA.
But you are going to have a great day, boo. You're not even going to worry about anything that's going on today, okay? Can be different from mama. Just have a great day.
Look at this girl come through this hallway with the rocker fit on.
Everybody want to walk around and be followers and do the same thing. I choose not to. I'm one of the few, and I choose to be different.
What's up? This is Ben Gordon. You're watching Hoops High.
So far, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, I'm Michael Ingram, serving as your play-by-play.
And I'm Ariel Pryor, serving as your color commentator for the evening.
Romeo Smith with the ball, kicks to number 3. Number 3 on the drive floater. That's no good. Romeo tries to get a tip, and that's no good. Darius Wesley with the ball, gives to Marquise Jefferson. Marquise couldn't get a hand on it. Darius Wesley. Pull up, and that's no good. Number 2 with the ball. Number 2 kicks to number 1. Number 1 trying to get it to Matt. Marquise Jefferson with the ball.
I see some tension on the backcourt.
Gets it to Darius. Darius gets a layup off of it. And ball will go LPrep's way. Marquise Justin gives it to Kasim Giles, a.k.a. KG. KG walking the ball, running the ball up the court right now. Stops, calls for an ISO. Gives it to the big man, Manny down low. Manny face up. Fouls on the floor. Darius.
Girl, look out.
Darius is fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2.
And I'm going to toss it to our sideline reporter, Jeanette Tate.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Tate here with Michael Davis. He's here spectating. So, how the game is going so far?
It's going good so far, even though the score lopsided, but one team playing harder than the other one.
So I understand that you play basketball. So why do you choose basketball?
It's fun. I like it. You know.
So, with this being the playoffs, like, what do you expect from these other teams playing basketball?
Well, I think they just go play their heart out, play the best. Best man win.
That's understandable. And so, who are you here for? What team are you rooting for?
Marine military.
Okay, well, I wish them the best of luck in this game, and thank you so much for this interview. We're going to toss it back to our announcers.
Ooh. And we're back with more Hoops High, ladies and gentlemen. If you just tuned in, I'm Michael Ingram, serving as your play-by-play.
And I'm Ariel Pryor, serving as your color commentator for the evening.
We're here at the Golden Dome, where we have LPrep taking on the Bulldogs right now. Maywell Patterson to the line for 2 free throws.
Okay.
Maywell first free throw is up, and that's no good.
Man.
T-Ray shoots second free throw. Second free throw is up and it's in there. Number 2. Trying to break the press, it doesn't work so much. Number 5 on the drive, spin. That's no good. I mean, it's good, I'm sorry. KG walking the ball up the court. Pitch to Stephon. Stephon with a float, and that's no good. This is on rebound. He's fouled. Manuel gets it, and he gets that to go off the glass. Marquise Jefferson with the ball now. He dribbles out of bounds. Score is 50-21 with 7 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the second half. LPrep leading the Bulldogs. Number 11, Matt tries to do a hook shot. That's no good. Wendell Anderson with the ball. Wendell just having fun right now. He gets ripped up. And KG picks up a foul. Wendell is ripped up easily. Number 3 to shoot 2 free throws. First one's up. It's in there. Second one is up, and it's out of there. Lane violation.
If you just can't seem to get enough of Hoops High, friend us on Facebook. Get to know the crew and what goes into every Hoops High production.
If you just can't seem to get enough from me, Michael Ingram, you can friend me on Facebook at Michael Ingram. You can friend my co-announcer at. She doesn't have one. KG dribbling the ball up the court. Cut, finds Stephon. Stephon is cutting. He gets an easy layup. Number 3 with the ball. Manuel loses the ball. Spin. Layup. That's no good. Stephon loses the ball.
Score is 52-25 with North Lawndale Prep in the lead, with 5 minutes remaining in the game.
Yes, indeed. Stephon intercepts the ball like he's playing football. Euro, and he gets that to go. Manny with the great defense.
We know we are not always perfect, but we are working hard and always learning. We thank you for your support and encouragement.
Matt shoot 2 free throws. First one is up, and that's no good. Matt shooter's second free throw. That's no good.
Want to see more Hoops High? Now you can see full games on our brand new website. Go to www.hoopshigh.org to see games from the past or stream live from home or your mobile device.
Wendell Anderson goes to the line for 2 free throws. First one is up, and that's good. Ari, do you think the Bulldogs have a good chance of coming back?
Not really.
Down by 30.
Down by 30 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
There's a God, there's a way.
There's a will, there's a way.
Oh.
I mean, no. Unless something just spectacular happened.
I did.
Yeah, it's over with.
They would have to score like every second.
And Shatan Hawkins picks up a foul. Number 3 to go to the line for 2 free throws. First one is up. And it's off.
No good, no good.
Second free throw. Get ready to take place and is up. That's no, and oh, I'm sorry, that's good. Sub coming to the game. Shatan Hawkins get ready to inbound the ball, kicks it to Marquise. Marquise bringing it up the court, floater, and that's good. Marquise seals it, a layup, and that's good. Ball is stolen again. KG with the ball. And here's the stolen. Manny gets the steal. Kicks it to Marquise. Marquise for 3. That's no good. And that's pretty much the game, y'all. Final score being 60-26. LPrep winning. Ari, what you think about the whole game?
It was just effortless to North Lawndale. They didn't even do anything. It was, I mean, they played good, but to me, it just seemed like they didn't have to do much.
LPrep did a good job coming out ruling it.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Tate here with Emmanuel Patterson. He's the MVP of this game. So, how does it feel to be MVP?
It feels good because I work hard and played to my fullest, as I always do.
So, how do you feel your team did this game?
They did well because they pressured the ball. They didn't let them get past half court, and they played their best.
Okay, so are there any other tips you guys need to work on for next game, or do you think you guys are good?
I think we're pretty much good, but we need to work on a little more stuff. Our defense also.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and congratulations again. You have been watching Hoops High. Catch us every Saturday night, Channel 19, CAN TV.
You can watch Hoops High on CAN TV, Channel 19, every Saturday at 8 p.m. Please visit www.hoopshigh.org to learn more. Hoops High and Free Spirit Media would like to thank our sponsors. We are grateful for their support in making our mission of youth media education and opportunity possible.
Hoops High is family, communication.
Enjoy it. Hoops High is
astounding, creativity,
commitment.
Hoops High is exciting, meaningful.
Hoops High is
technology,
spirit,
a community. Hoops High is home. Love.
Dedication.
Inspired.
Hoops High.
If they probably never was exposed to it, they probably would have never have done it, but it's something that you see that interests people a lot.
I never worked with a camera, you know, my first time learning about a camera, you know, zooming in, zooming out. It was a real good experience for me, you know. I think it changed a lot in me too. It changed how I think, and it changed like something I like to do in life.
When I get older, I want to be some type of actor. So being in this classroom really helped me out, really exercise my ability to act.
We shooting it and we shoot it off like what we done been through, and like people get to see it and they watching it and they liking it.
Like young kids in the community can do stuff that's like worth some type of value.
Meet Jaden, a 16-year-old from Chicago. He likes reading, playing basketball, and daydreaming. As one of 75 million youth in America, he is the future of our country. But today, Jaden's future is uncertain. A new economy is evolving as Jaden tries to find his way in a school system where more than 42% of students drop out and even more fall behind. For Jaden and others like him, the future looks grim. But there is hope. Youth media programs connect with kids like Jaden, moving them from discouragement toward opportunity through the power of communication. Jaden learns about journalism, technology, and culture. He spends his time engaged at school, in youth centers, and at libraries. He discovers how to observe the world around him and share his own stories. He becomes one of more than 10,000 teens involved in the Chicago Youth Voices Network, a collection of innovative programs that come together with a bold vision to reach more people like Jaden, to transform education, and to shape the health of our city. Together, the network gives vision to the journalists, artists, engineers, and leaders of our future. One story, poem, film, blog post, one youth at a time.
Passion,
drive, diet.
It doesn't matter if you're an athlete or not.
Heart and bounce.
Take every advantage.
If you train hard, you'll not only be hard, you'll be hard to beat.
You're swagging with Tony Parker.
This is Ryan Archidiakono.
I'm Prince Ibe. This is Nigel Williams-Goss.
Take every advantage.
When I think of breast cancer, I think of survival, extended life.
Hope. Total fear.
I don't think, Kenya, there's really a reason. We looked at family history, we looked at location where I was living, we looked at conditions, looked at diet. I don't think there was any real reason why I was diagnosed other than I was a woman with breasts.
Without good health, you have absolutely nothing. I don't care how rich you are, how wonderful your life is. If you don't have good health, you don't function well anymore.
Most people take their health for granted. So when you're feeling good and feeling healthy, you may not associate that with happiness, but if you started getting sick or were told you had breast cancer, then it would affect the quality of your life. Or people would certainly say that their happiness is affected when they're not healthy. And so health is important for people's overall sense of well-being.
At the time, I was operating a safe and sober house for women that was coming in from a 28-day program. And I was up in the mirror and I was showing them how to do a self-breast exam when I discovered for myself a lump in my breast. It was kind of a panicky situation. But I finished the presentation, and then I went downstairs and I got on the phone and I began to talk to my doctor, and he said, come in right away.
80% of all breast cancers start in the milk ducts of the breast. They're the little tubes that take the milk to the baby. They start in there and eventually figure out a way to break out into the surrounding tissue and then potentially can travel. So you can have a very, very healthy person who eats great and exercises all the time and still gets a breast cancer. But in terms of lowering your risk of developing one, exercise, maintaining a healthy weight, limiting alcohol intake, those things are all lifestyle choices and things you can modify.
In general, if you look at African American women compared to white women in the nation and in Chicago, we tend to not be as healthy overall. Now, that may not be the case for, a specific black woman and a specific white woman, but if you look at the numbers and the populations in general, African Americans tend to be less healthy.
Chicago is one of the worst performing cities in terms of the disparities according to breast cancer. So my colleagues and I have published a paper, and in that paper we compared the disparities, the difference between black and white breast cancer mortality rates in the 25 biggest cities in the United States. And among those 25 biggest cities, Chicago was the fourth worst. And black women are almost twice as likely to die from breast cancer as white women.
There are lots and lots of different things that go into that. But one of them certainly is access to health care. And certain groups, especially African Americans, have a higher rate of uninsurance, and they also we have data to show that they access often less high quality care. Both of those affect survival.
Black women don't get enough mammography, so they need to get more mammograms, and they need to get them at regular rates. That's one cause. The second is that the quality of mammography is frequently inferior for black women. And so we need to make sure that the quality of those mammograms is higher, so when a cancer is present, the mammogram will detect it as early and as soon as possible when it's small, and then we can treat it effectively.
The University of Illinois did a recent study where they looked at women who were diagnosed with breast cancer, and then they looked at if they had had a mammogram a year before or 2 years before, and they looked at those mammograms, and they often found signs of early breast cancer in the prior mammograms that had been missed. And when they looked at the sort of women who had the highest miss rate, it was poor women, women who are publicly insured, women with less education.
Because I take care of a population of women who are un- or underinsured, what you see is a lot of them come in at much later stages where the cancers are bigger, they've already spread beyond to lymph nodes or to somewhere other part of their body.
If you don't have a good health plan and you don't have access to a car that will get you to your doctor quickly, it is difficult. So many African American women may not go, or they're so busy with their children that they're putting them first and not their health first. And so quite often I think our death rate is higher because they don't diagnose this to us in the later stage.
We still have dual systems of healthcare in this country that's delivered by things around class and race and economics and things like that. And so if you're poor and live in a poor community and don't have good insurance, then which black women are more likely to be, then your ability to, again, get good quality care is less.
Here's the two main impediments to making things better: poverty and racism. And I think there's a lot of both of those in Chicago, and they're both, of course, attacking black women more than any other group of women.
In the last few years, the state of Illinois has had some very significant budget problems. And so when a state has those sort of budget problems, they have to decide on their priorities. We would suggest that they've made some bad choices in how they've allocated resources. And so Governor Quinn last year proposed to cut $3.3 million from the breast and cervical cancer program.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's only one industrialized country in the world that does not have a national health care system, and that country is the United States. And so instead you have a lot of poor people not being able to afford health care. They don't have insurance, they can't get health care, and then, for example, they can't afford to pay for a mammogram.
So for me, I'm a physician, I work at a hospital, so I had really good access to high quality care. And that's not the case for all women in Chicago, in the nation, and particularly for women who look like me. So black women in the city tend to have a harder time navigating the healthcare system and getting good quality care when you compare them to white women.
Knowledge is power. Once you know and understand about this body and how it works and the issues that we as women go through, then we're equipped with information, and that information gives us an opportunity to take control of our own health.
My biggest advice to everybody is be more afraid not to go to the doctor.
There's a lot of fear about cancer and about breast cancer, and there are a lot of myths about it. So first of all, people think all cancer is fatal. If you get cancer, that's it, you're dead, so don't name it. Okay, don't claim it, don't name it. And that is unfortunate, because breast cancer is one of those things where you actually do want to find it before it finds you.
Particularly for women, we tend to be the caregivers of the family, and we'll put needs of our children, put everyone else's needs as a priority, and go to the doctor last ourselves. And so we'll make sure that our kids go to their pediatrician and get their vaccines, or if they have a cold or whatever, but we'll delay our own care, trying to take care of our family's needs.
If you take just what they give you and just, you may not get the best treatment plan, but because you ask questions and you're concerned and you ask about the medicine and they give you the best when you're concerned about yourself.
Keep living. Every time I want to feel sorry for myself, I see somebody out there and I say, you have nothing to complain about. You're out here every day, you're enjoying life. But like I said, you will have the scars, but it doesn't stop you.
Every day is a blessing, Kenya. After having breast cancer, I look at the sky looks bluer. I look at the rain looks wetter. I look at the colors, your red shirt is redder. I look at the grass is greener. I could laugh at things that wasn't funny before. I could eat food and it tastes wonderful. Since then, life just has been a plus. There has been a bonus. A day in the life of breast cancer is a life extended.
But you know what? I don't have no beef with bitches on this couch. When y'all was on the bed, girl, they be getting it cracking. Nah, I'm too cute for that.
Today, 3 of the worst games were banned from a new video arcade. And as Vicky Vargas tells us, some there are relieved, others aren't so sure.
Parents are often the first to ask, could this lead to this?
Taller skin is the good.
The video games you just saw
are some of the games I've played since I was a child. I used to think video games affected children's behavior, including my own. Through the process of making this documentary, I realized it's not as easy as blaming video games. I would say violence is the act of being like aggressive towards something or someone.
Violence to me means like conflict between just two things or two people, like fist on or anything else that has harmful ways towards each other.
One of the reasons why violence is used in video games is it's a really quick, easy way to demonstrate conflict. Conflict is what makes media interesting.
You know, young kids are usually interested in superheroes, cartoons, and things like that, and there are a lot of those in games. I think as people get older, they're drawn to fantasy, you know, whether it's the fantasy of being a soldier that, you know, single-handedly wins the war, or a fantasy of being a magician that fights all these dragons or anything like that.
At Stanton's Golfland, manager Ken Beck understands the concern, but he says games like the banned Lethal Enforcer only teach kids how to shoot, a sort of high-tech take on the old Wild West.
There are different games that are meant to appeal to different people. Video games are visually interesting. They might have cartoon characters, they might have realistic people. They're usually meant to be splashy. There might be explosions or like driving a car, or things that people find exciting.
To me, it's enjoyable because it's not real, so it's not like it's actually happening, but you think like cool, like a game, a video game. Video designers, they can make a game or a main character on a game do anything.
Video games are designed to do that. They're designed to draw people in. They're designed to be fun. And so people put a lot of energy and thought into what can we grab people with? What event can we show in the game that you say, that's really cool, you know, that's cooler than what I've seen in a movie, or, you know, playing as this guy seems really fun, or I'd want to do this, or I'd want to try that.
Children, they like sponges, so whatever they see, they suck in.
The part of the brain that will help you as a teenager process all this and do more long-term planning and more sequencing and thinking things through, what we sometimes call executive functioning, rank ordering things and coming up with problem-solving skills. That part of your brain doesn't fully develop until you're in your 20s.
It has a big impact on them because they're still learning, and they're at the stage where they learning the most.
I can't imagine that a third grader playing Call of Duty wouldn't be unaffected by it because it's such graphic kinds of violence. And I think as an adult you can appreciate what the violence is for, where it fits. I don't think you understand that as a kid.
And so the brain's this wonderful organ that's always growing, always responding to the environment. We refer to that as plasticity. The brain's always reacting to what it's exposed to.
I mean, you can't necessarily say everybody gonna turn bad from playing video games. And some people, it depends on, it's not just the video games, it depends on your household.
I say a great deal because I have a little brother, and like ever since I let him start playing Call of Duty or games like that, he always want to go around making guns like coat hangers and stuff. So I had to make him start playing Call of Duty by breaking my own Call of Duty.
I think the video game rating system came out of a backlash against video games from concerned parents. A lot of this started with this game Mortal Kombat in the early 1990s, where you had digitized people, you know, like decapitating each other, you punch somebody and bleed. And that wasn't something that had been done in the technology. The technology wasn't good enough to do that.
The ratings from the ratings board is an educational tool. Parents need to know what their kids are playing. At least the parents who are paying attention need to know what their kids are playing.
And so I think that there were enough people that wrote to their congressman or wrote to whatever politician or wrote to video game companies and complained and said, what you're doing is illegal, what you're doing is hurting our children, that it caused the video game industry to add these ratings.
I just think kids will imitate it, but it depends on like parental control. Like if your parent can control the child good enough not to make them want to do this in like real life.
So I don't know how effective it is in terms of keeping a child away from games like that, but at least, you know, we have a body of knowledge that parents can trust, established by a group that understands that Parents are looking for information and they're trying to provide that.
And I think it's good that they have ratings because we have all these different kinds of games now that need this classification. We need to know that this game involves, you know, the use of alcohol or stealing cars or shooting people, whereas this game just involves playing hockey or, you know, running around a fantastic universe and collecting coins.
I think that it is both the consumer's responsibility and the designer's responsibility.
You don't know what's going on because you're at a young age, but you see enough to, you know, to come to a conclusion, or you see enough to go and ask somebody or go try and do this, and you actually found out what it really is.
You have to know that any art you create will have some kind of impact, and you have to be willing to be responsible for the impact that you may create.
You don't feel the violence the same way you would as an adult. You know, if you see somebody getting shot on TV, you should have a reaction to that because you have this empathy that you get as an adult. You see them as a person and you understand the person being injured or why that happens.
I believe video games cause violence because I wanted easy answers to the violence in my community and in the media. Everything got more complicated when I learned about drones.
Unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, also called drones, are a controversial component of the Obama administration's efforts to fight terrorism.
A drone is basically used by Army people to sit behind a control panel and be able to manage all of the aircraft from behind the screen.
My favorite video game would be Call of Duty. It's basically like a shooting game. Just you go around. It's like what they do in the military, just in video game form.
Using the drones, they try to be better at it. So every time they get something or they get a command to do, they're like, okay, I have to do this command. And then they have to try to be better. I have to be better than the last time. And that's just like a video game, right? You're trying to go to the next level. You're trying to beat that game, but it's not really a game.
You're not going to find definitive research on that topic. And so what you get are correlations that the more kids do this, the more they tend to do that.
There's a lot of conflicting information. Not a lot of study has been done. There's been a lot of studies done, but it's not conclusive yet.
All the research I've ever seen says that there's no connection. There are some studies by certain scientists that say that seeing anything violent causes people to do violent things. But there are also studies that say that what makes people aggressive is competition. It's not a video game, it's the fact that you're competing, whether it's against a computer or another person.
And I could also say there's some video games that can help you problem solve and help you explore and be creative and do other things. So I can see some positive skills you might learn from video games. It's about balance.
We can show hyper-stylized violence in ways. We can do it cheaply, we can do it creatively. And just because we can, should we?
Take every advantage.
I am
Confidence.
determination, heart.
I am agility,
leadership,
Drive.
I am
Patience,
power,
Bounce.
I am athlete.
I am athlete.
I am athlete.
I am athlete.
An everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors. May those who die rest in peace. May those who return find their roots, and may humanity never again perpetuate such injustice against humanity. We the living vow to uphold this.
Like, I always wanted to be white.
I was always just that black girl at school. Even growing up, I was always that black girl.
You think you all that because you light skinned.
Why does me being dark skinned have to do with anything about how good I look?
Just because I'm light skinned don't mean I can't get offended.
Social identity is usually around a construct. So our society has lots of ideas about what is right and what is wrong. And oftentimes those are organized based on our race or gender or any other set of skills.
Colorism is the belief that there is that one color is better than the other. In most countries, this means lighter skin because European colonialism kind of spread that idea globally that lighter skin has better value. So a lot of times people think that colorism is only important within the black community or within the American black community, but colorism is prevalent everywhere. It's prevalent in India, it's prevalent throughout Asia, it's prevalent in any country where you have an indigenous culture made up of brown people.
Internalization is when a person, an individual, usually believes some social construct or idea and then decides to act upon it.
I think that a lot of African American women, especially right now at this time in our culture, are working really, really hard to reclaim their femininity. So that's why so many of us wear, long hair and high heels and lots of makeup and all that stuff, because I think we're trying to reclaim something that really was taken from us. When you look at African American women in slavery, they were treated like men, right? So many of us forced outside to work, whether we had our periods or not, in the boiling hot sun, some of us not clothed or improperly clothed. We went from slavery right into having to take care of our families. So we always worked, always. There was never a point in African American culture that we got to sit home and just be like housewives and homemakers. That was never us.
I find that African Americans are often very misogynistic, and they see that as a traditional view as opposed to a social construct. So unfortunately, I think they contribute to the oppression of women because they don't question why these ideas about masculinity or femininity exist.
I feel like the people around us don't really make it no different, don't make a difference of it really, because they, like, whatever is popular, they go with. So if everybody's saying they want a red bone in the music videos, Lil Wayne or anybody saying that, that's who they want to be like. They want a red bone too. They want a thick girl too. They want a girl with money. They want a girl with long hair.
I like a long hair, thick red bone. Up and up, if they fillet me down, nip.
This is towards lighter skin. When you hit the term red bone, how do y'all feel about that?
I get so irritated. They call it red. I be green, blue, purple, red. It's so irritating. I even changed my name on Twitter. Like, my name is not Red. Stop calling me Red. It's just so annoying. It's irritating. It really is.
Well, in the past, okay, red bone. Hey, I owned it, but now it's just like, I agree with what she said. It's just just irritating. Like, me and my friend have on the same color, and they'll just get out the color we have. Like, if I have on yellow pants, she have on yellow. So I'm like, keep walking. Light skin. Typically in the media, like, when I see a dark-skinned girl, she's portrayed as, like, masculine and aggressive.
I heard those little smart-ass remarks you made, too. Didn't your mama teach you something? Who the hell do these people think they are anyway? Didn't y'all see me?
No, you move that I can tell, because look, when I inhale, my titty make the horn honk. Listen. You see that? That ain't right.
I hear it.
That's scientifically proved that you was adjusting my seat.
I think it was My Last by Chris Brown. And they, it was like he'll switch in between. It was this one girl sitting in the chair, light skin, she had the real long curly hair, had her makeup done right and everything. He's sitting there singing to her. And then like when he'll say like something negative, like basically what he don't look for in a female, it'll fade into like this dark skinned girl whose makeup all messed up with rough hair and she was chunky.
even though the media portrays light skin better to be better than dark skin, I think it also portrays light skin to be a little slutty to me from what I see, because you see these light-skinned girls and you see they're exploring their sexual needs or whatever. So I think it's like more than just, oh, you light-skinned, you better. I think it's more, it's like you light-skinned, you give good head, or you have better sex.
Oftentimes, African American women, we are a little bit more full, or a little bit more voluptuous and curvaceous, and over time, that's become associated with sexuality.
I think women in general are overly sexualized. They're objects. You know, even within, if we have female rappers or MCs or artists, they have to objectify themselves.
That's okay, baby, go ahead, do your thing, right on the way.
Sex always sells. And, you know, with men, it's to attain sex, and for women, it's to be that object of desire.
Society just looks down upon women in general. It's deeper than skin, in my opinion. Women itself, we are looked down upon. We are degraded. When you watch music videos, which is the main thing, women are over-sexualized for everything. African American women, we are very, curvy, and we have a lot of assets, and it's exposed. When you watch music videos, you see chest and you see really, big butts and guys just, hollering at you. And it's like teens consume that.
I think that as a group, it's sort of hard to fight against such a pervasive opinion that just kind of gets told to you over and over and over again, and it gets told to you in a number of different ways and reinforced in a number of different ways. So I think that many of us try hard to resist those stereotypes.
I have never had a problem with my skin color, even though a lot of girls my color do. I mean, just like a girl of any other color, I could get a man, I can get a job, I can do anything they do, maybe even better. So what's the problem? Oh, I understand. We have been tricked. The internet has tricked us. Television has tricked us. Magazines have tricked us. Society has tricked us. Tricked us into believing just because we're not what they call fair, we're less than a woman of anyone else. Lil Wayne make verses like, how do you say what's never said? Beautiful black woman, I bet that bitch look better red. And we just laugh. I mean, it's like we're in slavery again, except it's with our own people. You could be black, you could be white, you could be dark skinned. It's okay to be bright. It shouldn't make a difference, but it does.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
How do you plan to give back and change the world positively?
Why does your voice matter?
Why does your voice matter? Why does your voice matter?
Time waits for no one.
What would you like your legacy to be? What would you like your legacy to be?
One that's been genetically engineered.
Days, 80% of the corn, cotton, and soybeans are the products of biotech.
Crops don't leak out. We have domesticated crops.
According to a report in today's issue of the journal Science, genetically modified corn.
Americans have been eating genetically engineered corn.
Genetically modified.
Genetically engineered.
Genetically modified foods are foods that have been bioengineered.
You're taking crops and making them more in theory successful because you're adding in genes to make them, resistant to different kinds of bug pressure or resistant to drought, to be able to grow in conditions that maybe naturally they don't grow as well in.
Foods that have been altered to some degree in a laboratory on a very basic level, like a cellular level.
It's when you take the DNA strand of a particular variety of a plant and inject it with some other DNA strand. So you're creating these plants that are like super hybrids.
Come from foods that can't reproduce, that are somehow manufactured and aren't coming from a natural source.
I would say that the effects of genetically modified foods would be harmful to us just because that there's a level of it being synthetic.
For instance, when they splice fish into tomatoes, you think you're allergic to the tomatoes, but you're actually allergic to fish.
Anything that is being modified, that is being mixed with things that are unnatural, are going to have negative effects on our bodies.
You don't really know, again, what that mutation is going to do in the human being. And then once that human being cells mutate, you don't know how, you don't know those variables. You can't control those variables.
They're not providing the essential nutrition anymore. It takes us we have to eat so many foods these days to get the nutrition value of food that was grown back in the day, that was organic and fresh and on someone's farm.
It's giving us a certain amount of artificialness in our bodies, a certain amount of toxins in our bodies that we then, that our body can't really metabolize. So then our body has to do something with it, and a lot of times it expresses itself in, ill effects.
So hypersensitivities, allergic reactions are one of the most common things, most prevalent things that we see. And all a part of healing those naturally is eating organic foods.
In general, I'm kind of wary of anything that's going to disrupt and balance in an ecosystem.
When those foods get into the system and have to be acknowledged and recognized at a biochemical, cellular, physiologic level, the body knows the difference. And what we're seeing is things don't work the way they did with the natural substance.
When you throw one thing off, it's going to lead to other problems down the line that we may not be able to foresee.
So I think the combination of both of them are really impacting the health of everyone because there's more and more toxins in the earth and there's more and more genetically altered foods that people are consuming.
The effects of genetically modified foods on lands is really hazardous because from what I understand, the seeds that are being used can contaminate actually organic and foods that aren't modified at all. It can contaminate the dirt where that dirt no longer can produce or isn't healthy enough to help grow the food that is in that land.
Genetically modified foods are definitely pumped to low-income communities.
Genetically modified foods impact low-income communities probably more than any other community because these foods end up being cheaper than organic foods. And so there's no folks who are on a fixed income can't pick and choose the kind of foods they get to eat or only can to a particular extent. And they're going to take and buy what's affordable.
Again, there are foods that were made, for mass production. So that the availability of fresh organic produce or produce in general in low-income communities is very scarce. Most people are on diets of meat and fat and sugar.
This is tricky, right? Because you're dealing with countries that but have minimal resources to food because of drought, because of capitalism, because of so many factors that if a cheap seed is available, the fact is that they have to buy seeds and they can't seed save is a problem in itself, but it's cheaper to buy this seed versus this organic seed. I'm going to buy this GMO seed and be able to provide for my family. But again, the long-term effect says that your soil is going to be corroded, your health from harvesting this food is going to be put at risk, and then you're going to consume this food, which in the long run probably can have negative effects on you.
I think that's the scary part about GMOs is that nobody really knows. When we slice in genes, it may make that plant healthier, but it also might make it less effective long term. So, it may be really bug resistant today, but we don't know what that's going to look like 5 years from now.
I think that there are other more sustainable ways to grow that wouldn't involve genetically modified seeds. I think that they will probably plan to keep making more and more varieties of genetically modified foods, just because then they can have the rights and all the resources that would come with the seeds that are distributed that are genetically modified.
Well, I mean, it's on the table now, and the USDA just passed a bunch of GMO laws, and that stuff's really scary. So, I mean, I think it's only going to expand.
Haitian farmers revolted against using GMO seeds because they know the negative outcomes that it will have, despite knowing that they need to be able to provide food. But they're also making a statement saying, we have seeds that we can use, and we want to use our own seeds. We want to be able to grow what's local to our country. And a lot of protest has happened in India around this, around being able to seed save and use your own seeds instead of having to purchase seeds, because it's absurd. If I grow a crop, I can keep those seeds and plant them next season, but you're telling me that now I need to buy seeds from you.
And this is why I say to you that we must learn how to grow our own food. We must share our seeds. We must save our seeds. We must make sure that this generation and all generations to come, have access to healthy food. And that does not mean genetically modified food.
Growing Power is a nonprofit. We are based in Milwaukee. We have urban farms all over Chicago, and our huge emphasis is working in communities with youth. And so all of our projects are really community-based, so each one of our farms looks really different, and it's run by different kids who are really trying to learn about the food system and who are trying to learn about healthy eating. And sustainable food is food that's grown naturally, so we're trying to do as much as we can to mimic nature and to grow really healthy crops using different types of methods that aren't synthetic. So we're not using pesticides that you would get, that you would make scientifically. And so that's really where we try to emphasize, we want to have super productive farms so that we're feeding lots of folks, but also so that our kids can get educated and can have gainful employment in the future.
The Healthy Food Hub is just a little over a year old. It started out of a demand in the community for access to healthy food. Their array of foods, the different varieties, how to prepare it more healthfully. People were literally bringing recipes for people to share to the market. It was an absolutely beautiful experience, and we opened up the Healthy Food Hub.
I eat organic food because it makes me strong.
They do so much for us as players, and really support us as players. Least we can do is give back and show them that we care.
I see real important values in growing up in a tight-knit community.
I think that helping is contagious. Once you do it, many more will follow. The doors you open and close today are the stepping stones for you tomorrow.
Basketball is not who I am. Basketball is what I do.
Depends what you write.
Art. That's my one word, man. It's art.
It's an underrated form of art.
gave me a voice in the city.
I would say relief.
Just art. Some would say just expression. Some would say creativity. Some might say living. But really, for us, it's grounded in writing. We are writers. That's what we call ourselves. That's what we do. First of all, graffiti is a mark on a surface, right? Then the urban graffiti that we have experienced in the last 50 years that came from Philadelphia and New York City and other inner city areas was a venue for young people to express themselves through vandalism, putting their names up, getting props, recognition, and fame for that. And then once you have like skills based on spray painting, then you could take it further. It was tagging that made it possible for me to learn how to paint a butterfly, right? Or to be able to paint any language, because all languages are the same. They're built on a line and on curves, right? So that means you could go anywhere in the world and paint if you know how to do graffiti. So back to the history of it, in Chicago, it had always been here, but in different forms. People used rollers and paintbrushes back in the day. Old school gangbangers, the OGs used to use rollers to put their names up. When graffiti came from New York, then people began to use spray paint to put their names up. And then it evolved from the tag into the wild style lettering that we know of today and the productions that we paint. You know, like when you were a kid growing up in Chicago during that time, and it's still like this today, I don't think that's changed so much. Like, you pretty much know which gang is in the neighborhood by looking at the walls. So what happened was that the gangsters were claiming neighborhoods, you know, and when New York City graffiti came about, it was all about getting out of your neighborhood. Like, you didn't want to be the guy that wrote his name all over your neighborhood. You wanted to be the guy that was writing your name all over the city.
It depends what you write, you know? Like, I guess if you write like gang signs or, you know, stuff like that, it does make it look bad. But I mean, this is like drawings, it's art. I mean, look at that and look at this. It takes a lot of talent to do this.
The difference between gang graffiti and art graffiti is that gang graffiti is more of vandalizing, possession over territory, and it's not for any emotion into it. It's just saying, this is mine, this is who we are, you know, and it's vandalizing, you know. It has no feeling into it. It has no purpose.
One of the hugest, most beautiful things that ever happened to me was becoming a graffiti writer, because it got me off the block. I mean, a lot of the guys that I grew up with, a lot of guys I was friends with from the time I was like 5, 6 years old, you know, they got caught up in that gang stuff, and they could not walk 3 blocks east, you know, west, north, south without fear of, you know, getting their head split open, right? You know, our community here suffers, man, from segregation, from racist housing policies that have made it so that ownership is difficult here. So there's too many dilapidated structures around. So what should you do with that? Just leave them brown or whack or, you know, damaged? No, we want to bring some color to it. So the objective is basically to bring color to the community and beautify and transform it by painting these walls.
Well, I see my man painting, it stuck out to me because, like I said, I really don't see this in my community a lot, especially from back in the days to now. But it's a new way to express yourself. It's hot. It stands out in the community. It makes you wonder, like, who did it and how could I get involved. So it's what's up, man. It just picks your brain and actually makes you see that there's more out here than just partying for entertainment or to express yourself, or gangs and drugs and all that. You can draw, you can do art around the community, express yourself on the wall or something.
When we painted this wall, we had like 15 kids for a summer program, and we painted the largest mural in the city, but it was a graffiti production. It was all real graffiti, real burners, telling the truth, like we did the police officers, a pig, and, you know, chasing after kids and stuff. That really changed how I realized, like, man, this really affects our community in a positive way, because all those kids would go by and they'd be like, I painted that, I painted that, this was my idea, this was my idea. And I was like, damn, this is beautiful. I would like to do this more.
I think that if you know how to do art, do graffiti, then you should do it because it's something that has to do with emotion, about how you feel, about how things are probably going in your life. Basically, if you use a dark color, that means something bad. If you use a light color, it means something good. I think art, graffiti, all that is just a fun thing to do. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about graffiti or art.
Art graffiti is more of a, this is what the world is, this is what it has come to, this is what we're doing, and this is what we want. You know, it's just someone's feelings into a canvas and just showing that the world isn't right, or just showing how their mind is going. Something that can't be said and can't be understood and just seen through one's hands.
It's more like a type of expression, I would say. Yeah, like, you know, people have like certain ways of expressing themselves. Then we express themselves through art. So it'd be like politics and art. Let's say go hand in hand, you know. It's like representing us and what we have to say. But we don't have a word, you know. They don't take our word, so might as well show them, right?
Time waits for no one.
I will sweat. I will do more than what it takes.
I will compete. I will fly.
I will run. I will run. I will train. I will train.
I will succeed. I will succeed.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
I will succeed.
You're rocking with Amari Stoudemire, and you're watching Hoops High. Watch it or watch nothing.
Behind the scenes of Hoops High, it's more than interviews and replays. The crew contributes 110% in setup and production.
While we have fun, we are also very serious about getting the job done.
We have the opportunity to work with big companies such as Nike and to meet current and future NBA stars. We are Hoops High.
Nobody cares until it's too late, when the trigger is pulled and it's called a mistake. When the body is put 6 feet under and cries from the mother sounds like thunder. Oh, come back to me, you're all that I need. You were my hand to hold when life got cold. You will always be alive in my heart.
Today on FSM News on the Road, we're here in downtown Chicago on Michigan Avenue.
Coming to inform you on the preconceptions, misconceptions, stereotypes, and how they affect the youth.
Stay tuned and I'll be your bestie for life.
Hello and welcome to FSM News. I'm Paris Manning.
And I'm Precious Johnson.
There has been a lot of controversy around the death of Trayvon Martin. Across the country, many people are rallying because they're angry about the final verdict.
You're right. And for instance, Beyonce and Jay-Z refused to play in Florida because George Zimmerman was found not guilty.
FSM News reporter Kazi Elfeld takes a look at how celebrities react to this case.
Influential celebrities have taken an initiative to support the case of Trayvon Martin. The effort to bring Zimmerman to justice have turned many heads. Why do you think that so many celebrities got involved in the Trayvon Martin case?
I think celebrities understand that more people can hear them when they speak out, and I think it's a case worth speaking out about.
I think in many ways, obviously, it's in the headlines, so I think people want to get their face out there, and I think there are a lot of opinions about the case just in general.
Some celebrities think that the verdict was unjust. Steve Harvey tweeted, "A child is dead, and the man that killed him is free," while others like Ted Nugent think that Zimmerman was defending himself.
Overall, it's unfortunate that it happened. I think if everybody had done what they should have done on, in many ways, both sides, it would have been completely avoided.
Celebrities such as Jay-Z, Jamie Foxx, and the Miami Heat have taken an extra step to speak out about the case. But is the celebrity involvement a distraction from the actual case?
I think, personally, I think a lot of celebrities just use the Trayvon Martin trial as publicity stunt to get sympathy and more viewers for their shows and, promote their tours and whatnot.
Well, with that case, I feel that it was just unjustified because Trayvon Martin, he was just like me, innocent kid. Somebody just came and took his life for no reason at that.
I think that the verdict was absolutely ridiculous.
Throughout the course of the trial, many celebrities have picked sides, but only 2 people really know what happened. Reporting for FSM News, I'm Kazio Felt.
Thanks, Kaziel. Who knew some celebs were so invested in this trial?
I know. There's also a group called Rise that's trying to make a difference in their community.
They are pursuing different ways to get trauma centers on the south side of Chicago.
FSM News reporter Aria McDonald has the story.
Wake up! Everybody wake up! I'm like, what are you yelling for? Kevin got shot. And I was like, what?
So he thought I was joking.
I was like, you playing some sick, demented joke? And then I saw 2 police officers. I was like, oh.
2 months ago, near a Green Line CCA station, 19-year-old Kevin Ambrose was gunned down as he was coming to pick up a friend.
I ran downstairs, and he was laying there, like basically dying.
From this tragic incident, Ambrose's friends have come together to form their organization, RISE.
RISE stands for Reclaiming Inner City Streets and Elevating Chicago.
They hope to bring more trauma centers to the south side of Chicago.
I'm not saying that Kevin would still be alive today if there was a trauma center on the south side, but I am saying that his chances of living would have been higher. One thing we plan on doing is working with the organization called Fly and Stop, which is an organization that have been trying to get a trauma center now for the past 3 years.
Head member of RISE, Michael Dye, gives his insight on why he thinks there are little to no trauma centers on the south side.
No one really knows or cares enough to know, like in the other northern part of the neighborhood of the city, no one really wants to care about the south side or the west side because of, the danger and how the media portrays it. So they don't really pay much attention to the lack of trauma centers.
Members of RISE keep memories of Kevin alive, focusing more on the joy of his life rather than the sadness of his death.
He just always put other people in front of him, and it just showed he really cared and loved people genuinely. And he didn't even really have to know the people, which really made him special, but he would look out for anybody.
He'd do what he can, and if he couldn't do it, he'd find a way to do it.
Ambrose's friends wonder if his death could have been prevented. Since they cannot change the past, they are focusing on a goal to change the future.
Ever since we started, we've just been so relentless. We haven't stopped. It's barely a break. At work, we're at our own personal jobs. We're all thinking about RISE. I barely get any sleep because I'm always thinking about ways to impact the youth.
I feel like one of the main reasons we came together is to not let Kevin's life go in vain, because he was such a positive person and he was a bright spot in the community. I feel like we just don't want to let his name just be another just Kevin Ambrose. It should be something behind it.
This is not only for Kevin, this is for all the fall of lost ones and everyone else, because we all are affected by every death,
Reporting for FSM News, I'm Aria McDonald.
A hoodie doesn't matter. Character does.
Interesting PSA. Hoodies have definitely become a hot topic.
Paris, when you see a guy in a hoodie, what do you think of him?
I don't know. But our fashion correspondent, Anaja Smith, is talking to the guys about the clothes they choose to wear.
Hello, I'm Anaja Smith, and today on Fashion Corner, I'm here to explain the misperception of everyday male fashion. In the midst of the controversy surrounding the Trayvon Martin case, I talked to a few young men about how society views them. Hey Aston, can I ask you a couple questions?
Yes, yeah.
Based on how you dress, how does society perceive you?
I feel like my everyday wear is completely different from this, so I may get perceived in a little bit different light. But when I have this on, I think I would be well accepted, just because of, it being not something out of the ordinary.
Well, I think society perceives black males as like thugs or gangsters just because they got on stuff like sagging pants or hoodies.
Perception of, African American men in America, we all have the, big oversized shirts and the saggy jeans and the gym shoes and things like that.
Do you think Trayvon was scrutinized by the way he was dressed?
Yes, I feel he was scrutinized by the way he was dressed, because the way he was dressed is pretty much how black people are depicted in news and media today.
I believe that played a big part in it simply because they had, this big problem with how he was dressed and how that was the reason why he thought that Trayvon Martin was a quote-unquote suspect.
Most guys are judged by their appearance without being able to make their own first impression. But for guys that dress fashion forward, does that insinuate that they should get judged? So can you explain what you have on today?
Well, today I have on business attire. I got suspenders, I got the, pants and a shirt, and then I got this tie. The tie is black and gold that represents my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
I have on a Calvin Klein suit jacket, some leather pants, some Dr. Martens, a white V-neck T-shirt, a gold chain, and some Bulgari sunglasses. And I feel like these items are statement pieces. They represent me as being a fashion-forward type person, a trendy type person.
What I have on today is a cardigan with a tie, slacks, and a nice pair of walking shoes. In all honesty, whatever I want to go out and present myself in a professional manner, not just, business casual, but, everyday casual. This is something that I will put on.
Regardless of being misperceived, these young men have goals and are positive. What are some positive things you're doing?
I stay out of trouble. I try not to hang with the bad crowds.
I'm a music education major at Chicago State University. I'm the president of the NAACP chapter at Chicago State University.
For the most part, I believe I am a positive person, so I think everything that I do is positive. I just graduated from college also, and then I've been inducted into an art gallery since I was 19 years old. So.
Well, I'm in school right now. I'm majoring in fashion design and merchandising with a minor in business marketing. I design for a boutique, and I'm working on my own clothing line.
So as you can see, clothes don't make the man, but personality does. Reporting for FSM News, I'm Anaja Smith.
Oh my God, I just love the outfits they were wearing.
Yeah, they were awesome. Nice day out, guys.
Hey, what's up, G, man? We out here.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab a couple shirts, t-shirts, and grab a couple sets. Probably grab one of those.
Police, we can't gang in.
Man, I know my rights. Man, probably call him.
All right. Y'all can go ahead.
Did you know police aren't allowed to search you unless he or she has probable cause to believe that you have committed a crime? If you ever feel like you have been illegally searched, file a report at your local police station. Reporting for FSM News, I'm Lindell Connor.
Well, that's all for today here on Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Until then, you can find more about us on Facebook. Just search FSM News.
Or you can also find us on ABC7 Chicago's website in the community section.
And remember to look for us on CAN TV, Channel 19, and now Channel 27 as well.
3,
2,
1,
that's a wrap.
Action in 3, 2.
Until then, you can find.
Hope. Let's hand behind back. I know my rights. You ain't got no rights. They have probable cause. All right, y'all can just get up.
That's gonna annoy me. That's gonna.
Hi. So awkward.
Camera rolling.
Oh, come on, see? Yeah, don't take me.
Haynes brown tee on, because it's.
Oh, I got me a Cadillac.
That's a Ford.
I know, but it looked like it reminded me of a Cadillac.
Wait, stop.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, that's what I was just in my zone. Your arm and the mic.
Man, I was just finna get the flicking.
3, 2, 1. That's a wrap. Stupid. That's a wrap.
This looks a little girly, but it's not. It's a nice jacket. Nice jacket.
Free Spirit Media cultivates diverse youth voices to transform media and society.